bendiga, buenos días.
The Lord bless you. Good morning.
Gracias, pastor.
Thank you, pastors, for allowing me to preach and be here.
Vamos a orar así como estamos. Les invito a que inclinen su rostro.
We're going to pray just as you are. I'm going to invite you to bow your head.
Dios, te damos gracias en el nombre de Jesús.
Lord, we thank you in the name of Jesus.
Estamos delante de ti, Dios, con un corazón dispuesto,
We come before you with a willing heart,
con una actitud, Dios, de recibir lo que tienes para cada uno de nosotros.
with a receiving attitude for what you have in store for us.
Te pedimos que nos ayudes, Dios.
We ask that you help us, God.
Si hay alguien cansado, que tú le des fuerzas.
If anybody here is tired, that you give them strength.
Si hay algún enfermo, Dios, que tú lo sanes
If there's someone here who's sick, we ask that you heal him
con el poder de tu palabra.
with the power of your word.
En el nombre de Jesús.
In the name of Jesus.
Amén.
Amen.
Vamos les invito a que abran su Biblia en el libro de Génesis, capítulo 18,
I'm going to invite you to open up your Bibles to the book of Genesis, chapter 18,
verso 10.
verse 10.
Estamos contentos, agradecidos, mi esposa, mi familia me acompañan, mis hijas.
We're rejoicing, myself, my wife, our daughters are accompanying us.
Reciban un saludo de la iglesia, de allá donde estamos pastoreando, de los hermanos.
We receive our greetings from the church that we're pastoring.
Estamos, los hermanos allá se quedan, hermano, pues ahí nos saludan a los hermanos.
All the congregants were saying, look, please give our best to the church over there.
Uno de los hermanos curiosos me dijo, hermano, ya no vaya tanto para Oxnard.
One of the brothers there said to me, interestingly enough, he said, hey, brother, don't be going to Oxnard so much.
Porque si usted no va, los va a hacer que ellos vengan.
Because if you don't go, you're going to make them come.
Déjenos que ellos vengan, que nos visiten.
Let them come visit us instead.
Digo, tienes razón, voy a seguir tu consejo.
I said, you're right, I'm going to follow your counsel.
Ok, dice la palabra de Dios en el libro de Génesis, capítulo 18, verso 10. ¿Lo quiere usted leer? Del 10 al 14. En inglés.
I'm going to read it in English, verses 18 to 10. Genesis 18, 10 to 14. Then one of them said, I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah, your wife, will have a son. Now Sarah was listening at the entrance of the tent, which was behind him. Abraham and Sarah were already very old, and Sarah was past the age of childbearing. So Sarah laughed to herself, and she thought, after I am worn out and my Lord is old, will I now have this pleasure? Then the Lord said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh and say, will I really have a child now that I'm old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return to you at the appointed time next year, and Sarah will have a son.
Amén. Me llama la atención esta historia de la Biblia. Ahorita miramos en la obra.
This story captures my attention because as we saw here up on this play that we just saw,
¿Quién era Sara?
we saw who Sarah was.
Aquí esta parte de la Biblia
And here in this passage of the Bible,
están recibiendo palabra de parte de Dios.
they're receiving a word from God.
Dios les estaba dando una promesa.
The Lord was giving them a promise.
Estaban recibiendo una visita de Dios.
They were receiving a visitation from God.
Y es algo hermoso cuando Dios visita tu vida.
And it's something beautiful when God visits your life.
Muchas de las veces cuando viene la visita de Dios a nosotros,
Many times when God visits our lives,
o estamos viviendo situaciones difíciles,
or we're living through difficult situations,
y lo que me llama la atención es que cuando Dios te visita,
the thing that draws my attention is when God visits you,
lo que viene a decirte Dios a tu vida,
the thing that God comes to say to your life
es como si fuera una locura.
is something almost it's crazy.
Es como si fuera algo no creíble.
It's something that's incredible.
Dios les estaba dando una promesa.
God was giving them a promise.
Les estaba diciendo tu aflicción,
He was saying to them, your affliction,
tu situación, tu acongoja, tu cosa difícil,
your situation, your difficult moment
va a pasar.
will pass.
Vas a mirar el fruto de tu vientre.
You will see fruit of your womb.
Yo te voy a bendecir con un hijo.
I will bless you with a child.
Esto era algo, una locura.
And this was craziness.
Esto era algo naturalmente imposible.
This was something that was unnatural or impossible.
A mí me encanta cómo trabaja Dios en la vida del hombre.
And I love how God works in man's life.
De lo imposible,
From the impossible,
lo hace posible.
He makes the possible.
De lo increíble,
From what's incredible,
lo hace creíble.
He makes it credible.
Es algo asombroso.
It's something amazing.
Es algo sobrenatural.
It's something supernatural.
Dice en la Biblia, en los evangelios, que en una ocasión
The Bible says in one of the Gospels that on occasion,
vinieron a Jesús
they came to Jesus.
y le pidieron, ahí le estaban pidiendo los impuestos.
And they were asking them for taxes.
Y como Dios no obra de una manera natural,
And since God doesn't work in a natural way,
sino que trabaja, obra de una manera
but
sobrenatural,
rather works in the supernatural way,
pues hizo algo
He
sobrenatural.
did something supernatural.
Le dijo a uno de sus discípulos, ve y saca un pez.
He says to one of His disciples, go and catch a fish.
Y no le dijo, ve y vende el pez.
And He didn't say, well, now and then go and sell that fish,
Que es lo que usted y yo a lo mejor hubiéramos hecho.
which is what you and I likely would have done.
Le dijo, ve, ábrele la boca al pez
He says, no, go open the mouth of the fish
y saca una moneda.
and pull out a coin.
Es algo tremendo.
It's something incredible.
Hermano, yo no sé, a veces en la vida de nosotros, aún como creyentes,
It's insane because sometimes, even in our own lives as believers,
aún como ministros,
even as ministers,
enfrentamos situaciones difíciles.
we face difficult situations
Que nos preguntamos nosotros naturalmente, no es posible.
whereby we say to ourselves, it's not possible.
Problemas que vivimos en este mundo,
These problems we face in this life,
también somos de carne y hueso,
we are also of flesh and bone,
pero tenemos una seguridad,
but we have a security.
tenemos una confianza.
We have a hope.
No andamos nosotros con nuestras propias fuerzas.
We're not walking by our own strength.
Y hemos aprendido a conocer a Dios.
And we've learned to know God.
Sabemos que de la nada
We know that from nothing,
hace todo.
He makes everything.
De lo imposible
From the impossible,
lo hace posible.
He makes things
De
possible.
lo que a lo mejor naturalmente no va a suceder nada.
From what perhaps naturally nothing could occur,
Me pongo yo a pensar la actitud de Sara.
and I begin to ponder about the attitude that Sarah had.
Dice, yo voy a leer, dice el verso 11,
Verse 11 says,
dice, y Abraham y Sara eran viejos,
it says, Abraham and Sarah were very old.
de edad avanzada,
They're very old.
y a Sara le había cesado ya la costumbre de las mujeres.
And it says Sarah was past the age of childbearing.
Dice que ya había cesado, había terminado.
It says her time had ceased, it had stopped.
Ya no podía tener hijos, ya no era posible.
She could no longer, it was no longer possible for her to have children.
A veces en nuestra vida como
And
creyentes,
sometimes in our lives as believers,
puede que cesen, que terminen, que cesen cosas en nosotros.
there are certain things that cease to exist in our own lives.
Puede que ha dejado de cesar en nosotros la esperanza.
It's possible that our hope may have ceased to exist.
Puede que haya cesado en nosotros la fe,
It's possible that our faith has ceased to exist.
el amor.
The love.
En ella había cesado la oportunidad de ser mamá.
But for her opportunity to be a mother had ceased to
Su
exist.
cuerpo ya no le ayudaba a
Her
ella.
body no longer permitted it.
Pero tuvo que venir el Dios Todopoderoso
But the Almighty God had to come
para que cesara,
so that it could cease.
para que todo eso que estaba cortado,
So that all that had been cut off,
todo eso que ya no había en ella,
all those things that were no longer in her,
no le era un obstáculo a Dios.
would no longer be an obstacle.
Muchas de las veces en nosotros
So many times for us,
se han terminado
there are things that have stopped.
muchas cosas.
There are many things that have stopped or stopped existing.
Pero eso
But these things
no va a detener a Dios.
will not detain God.
A Dios no detuvo las circunstancias que habían pasado en Sara.
God wasn't detained by the circumstance that Sarah was in.
Y no va a detener a Dios nada en tu vida.
And nothing in your life will detain
No va a
God.
haber nada que lo pueda
There
detener.
will be nothing that could detain Him.
Dice la Biblia en el siguiente
The
verso
Bible says in the following verse
que la respuesta de Sara fue de risa, se empezó a
that
reír.
Sarah's response was to laugh. She began to laugh.
Usted sabe que cuando muchas de las veces somos como de alguna manera confrontados,
You know, so many times when we are confronted,
como que hasta de nervios nos reímos.
it's almost as if though by our own nerves we start to laugh.
Bueno, esa fue la reacción de
So
Sara.
this was the same response that Sarah had.
Estaba escuchando algo
She
imposible,
was hearing something that to her was impossible,
pero de un Dios que hace las cosas
but
posibles.
she was hearing it from a God who could only make that possible.
Hay cosas que vienen a nuestra vida
There are things that come to our
y
lives,
que podemos mirar como imposibles.
and that we might see these things as impossible.
Hay cosas que nos han atormentado.
There are things that have tormented us.
Esto era un tormento para ella.
This was something that tormented her.
Era algo duro para ella. Estar viviendo lo que vivía.
It was difficult for her to live what she was living.
Pero tenemos que asegurarnos
But we have to assure ourselves
de que tenemos un Dios de imposibles.
that we have a God of the impossible.
Usted tiene que estar segura, tiene que estar seguro en quién ha creído,
You have to be sure in whom you've believed,
en quién ha depositado su
in
confianza.
whom you've deposited your confidence.
Porque aquí Dios la estaba visitando.
Because here God was visiting her,
Y Dios nos visita a nosotros.
and God visits us.
Es el mismo Dios.
He's the same God.
El mismo Dios que estaba confrontando a Sara,
The same God that was confronting Sarah
nos confronta a nosotros.
confronts us.
A veces batallamos nosotros para creerle a Dios.
And sometimes we struggle to believe God.
Nos es duro.
It's difficult for us.
Porque nuestra naturaleza
Because our own nature
nos ha dicho, ya no se puede más.
has told us you can no longer.
La naturaleza de Sara dice que ya no era posible.
Sarah's nature told her it's no longer possible.
Aunque sea imposible para tu cuerpo,
Even though it's impossible for your body,
para tu mente,
for your mind,
para tu forma de pensar,
for your way of thinking,
Dios lo va a hacer.
God will still do it.
Aunque parezca inalcanzable,
Even though it is unreachable or might seem unreachable,
Dios lo va a hacer.
God will still do it.
¿Sabe cuál es ¿sabe usted cuál es el campo de batalla del enemigo?
You know what the battlefield is for the enemy?
Su mente.
Your mind.
Ahí es el campo de batalla.
That's his battlefield.
Ahí es donde usted tiene sus luchas.
That's where you have your battles.
Ahí es donde usted los dardos de fuego están siendo lanzados a su vida.
That's where the darts of fire are being thrown to your life.
Imagínese toda una vida
Imagine an entire life
de algo imposible,
of living an impossibility,
habiéndolo intentado
having tried to do certain things,
y que venga siendo confrontada
and then you're confronted
por Dios
by God.
y que le diga,
And then God says,
eso imposible,
that which is impossible,
yo lo voy a hacer posible.
I will make possible.
Es algo tremendo.
It's an incredible thing.
Era algo imposible para
It
Sara,
was something impossible for Sarah.
era algo que ella había intentado,
It was something she'd attempted,
sus recursos se habían acabado,
but her resources were no longer there.
pero Dios no va a buscar tus recursos.
But God's not looking for your resources.
Dios no anda buscando tus recursos.
God's not looking for your
Dios
resources.
no anda buscando tus virtudes.
God's not looking for your virtues.
No, Dios te ha puesto su mirada en ti.
No, God has placed His sight on you,
No importa
and it doesn't matter
las capacidades que tú tengas,
what capacity you may
lo
have,
inteligente que tú seas,
how intelligent you are.
sino que Dios de la nada
Instead, God from nothing
te va a dar forma.
makes or gives you form.
Te va a empezar a dar figura.
He'll give you a shape.
Ya no podemos seguirnos creyendo tanta mentira del diablo.
We can no longer keep believing all these lies from the devil
Que venimos de un chango, imagínese.
that we come from a monkey. Can you imagine that?
No, eso es mentira.
No, it's a lie.
Tanta mentira que de una explosión.
So many lies that from some explosion.
Allá en México le digo a los hermanos, no se crean eso.
I tell these brothers in Mexico, don't believe that.
Le digo, eso es pura mentira de Satanás.
That's a lie from Satan.
Dice la Biblia que Él nos hizo a su imagen
The Bible says He made us in His own
y a su
image
semejanza.
and His own likeness.
Somos hijos de Dios,
We are children of God.
del que todo lo puede.
We are children of the one who can do it all.
Ah, la fuente de vida,
The fountain of life,
de esperanza,
of hope,
de esa fuente de salvación,
that fountain of salvation,
esa fuente de bendición,
that fountain of blessing
no ha sido cortada
is not been cut off
en nuestras vidas.
in our lives.
Y nada, absolutamente nada,
And there's absolutely nothing
la va a poder cortar.
that could cut it off.
Yo le he dicho a Dios, Señor, lo que tú me diste,
I've told God, God, that you've given me,
nadie
no one
me lo puede quitar.
can take it from me.
Hermano, el gozo,
The joy,
la paz,
the peace,
el amor
the love
que Dios te ha dado,
that God has given you,
nadie te lo puede quitar.
no one can take it from you.
No va a haber nada
There's nothing
que te lo pueda quitar porque Dios te lo dio.
that God could take it. There's nothing that could take it from you because God gave it to you.
Nada va a detener a Dios en tu vida.
Nothing will stop God in your life.
Si tú le dices a Dios, Señor, haz de mi vida
If you say to God, do with my life
lo que tú quieras hacer.
what you want to do.
Hermano, estaba platicando hace unas 3 semanas atrás.
I was speaking with someone about 3 weeks ago.
Tuvimos unos bautizos
We had some baptisms
y se bautizó mucha gente.
and a lot of people were baptized.
Estuve dando el estudio del bautismo ahí en la iglesia
I was giving there the lecture, the study there at church,
y estaba la gente animada.
and the people were encouraged,
Muchas preguntas.
and they had a lot of questions.
Y estuvimos ahí teniendo un buen tiempo
And we were there having a good time,
y empecé yo a orar.
and I began to pray.
Antes de los bautizos yo le decía, el enemigo no está contento.
And I said, before these baptisms, the enemy's not happy.
Al enemigo no le va a gustar lo que nosotros hacemos.
The enemy's not going to like what we're doing.
Y estuve orando, pidiendo a Dios, Señor, guárdanos, protégenos.
And I was praying to God, God, protect us, guard us.
Y tuvimos un tiempo de bendición, se bautizaron 38 personas.
And we had a precious time. 38 people were baptized.
Nos bautizamos en una tinita así, no sé si ustedes los han visto, donde les dan de tomar a los caballos.
They were baptized in this little trough. I don't know if you've seen it. The troughs where they give food to the horses.
Me ayudó, mi pastor se puso de aquel lado, yo me puse de este lado.
My pastor helped me. He was on one side and I was on the other.
Terminamos cansados del brazo.
And our arms were so tired.
Había unos hermanos que no cabían.
There were some people who didn't even fit in these troughs.
Híncate, le dije, a ver cómo lo hacemos.
I would say to them, well, kneel down, we'll see how we
Y
do this.
tuvimos un tiempo de bendición.
We had a time that was full of blessing.
Pero a los 2-3 días,
But 2 to 3 days later,
le hablo a mi esposa
I called my wife
y le digo, acaba de pasar algo en el centro, en el ministerio.
and I said, something's just happened at the center, this ministry.
Un hombre
A man
se quitó la vida.
took his own life.
Y ella dijo, ¿cómo? ¿Qué pasó?
And she said, what? How did this happen? What happened?
No sé. Le digo.
I said, I don't know.
Lo bajamos, se suicidó, se colgó.
He committed suicide, he hung himself.
Vimos, lo bajamos como pudimos rápido.
We took him down as we could.
Le dimos respiración.
We tried to resuscitate.
Oramos por
We
él.
prayed for him.
Y no pudimos hacer nada. Yo me sentí impotente.
There was nothing we could do. I felt helpless.
Y estaba ahí quebrantado, diciéndole a Dios, Señor, ¿por qué pasó esto?
And
¿Qué
I
pasa?
was broken, and I said, God, how could this happen? What's going on?
Muéstrame, Dios, ¿qué pasó?
God, show me what happened.
Él se había bautizado, Dios.
He had just baptized
Él te
himself.
había recibido.
He received you.
Él había hecho una promesa
He had made a promise
de servirte,
to serve you,
de serte
to be
fiel.
faithful to you.
Y yo no entendía, estaba mal.
And I couldn't understand it. I was in bad shape.
Y por otro lado, mi esposa se puso, usted sabe, las mujeres son bien nerviosas.
And on the other hand, I had my wife, and she was nervous.
Y mi esposa, oye, ten cuidado, ¿qué pasó? Y mándame mensajes.
And my wife was just sending me message after message. Be careful, what's going on?
Miré que todo era un ataque del
And
enemigo.
I saw that this was all an attack from the enemy.
El enemigo venía a mi mente
The enemy would come to my mind
Y me decía,
And he'd say to
ni
me,
siquiera sabes
you don't even know
lo que viene para tu vida.
what comes to your life.
Ni siquiera te imaginas
You can't even imagine
lo que voy a hacer contigo,
what I'm going to do with you,
lo que va a pasar.
what's going to happen.
Y todo eso venía a mi mente.
And all these things came to my mind.
Y estaba mirando ahí a la familia del muchacho.
And I was there around the family of this young man.
Eran unos pastores de allá.
There were some pastors from over
¿Qué
there.
pasó?
And they said, what happened?
No sé.
I don't know.
No tenía palabras.
I had no words.
Estaba ahí la investigación. Era algo como de una película de terror.
It was an incomplete investigation. It was something out of a horror movie.
Estando después de 3 días de fiesta, todo era gozo, alegría, paz.
After 3 days of celebrating, of peace,
Y de repente empezar a vivir una película de terror.
when all of a sudden I start living this horror movie.
Oraba a Dios y le decía, Señor,
And I prayed to God and I said, God,
yo no sé lo que está pasando.
I don't know what's happening.
Yo sé que aquí me tienes
I know that you have me here
en estos momentos.
these moments.
No quisiera ser yo el que está aquí.
I wish it weren't me who was here.
Quisiera que fuera alguien más.
I wish it was somebody else.
Y me decía Dios,
But God said to me,
sentí como Dios me abrazó
I felt how God embraced me.
y me decía, estoy contigo.
And He said to me, I'm with you.
Yo soy tu Dios.
I am your God.
Yo soy el que te doy la fuerza.
I'm the one who gives you
Nunca
strength.
te voy a dejar.
I will never leave you.
Nunca te voy a
I
desamparar.
will never forsake you.
Sino que yo estoy contigo.
But I will always be with you.
Así que levántate.
So stand up.
Porque siervo me eres útil.
Because you are a useful servant.
Y yo sentía que no tenía fuerza.
But I felt like I had no strength.
Me sentía derrotado.
I felt defeated.
Decía, Señor, siento que perdí. Con este hombre yo perdí la batalla.
I said, God, I felt like I lost the battle through this man.
Me siento derrotado
I
justamente con él.
I feel defeated just as he was.
Y fue una lucha.
And it was a struggle.
Pero muchas de las veces en la vida de nosotros,
But
del creyente, de usted,
But many times in the life of the believer, in your life,
vamos a enfrentar gigantes.
we'll face giants.
Vamos a enfrentar situaciones
We'll
difíciles.
face difficult situations.
Vamos a enfrentar cosas que se salen de nuestras manos.
We'll face things that are out of our hands.
Yo le dije a Dios, Señor, esto no está en mis manos.
I said, God, this isn't in my hands.
Yo le prediqué.
I just preached to him.
Yo oré por él.
I prayed for him.
Yo lo abracé.
I embraced him.
Yo estuve ahí con él.
I was there with him.
Yo no sé qué
I
pasó.
don't know what happened.
Y fue duro.
And it was difficult.
Y me decía Dios,
And God said to me,
yo eso lo viví.
I lived this.
Y lo he vivido.
And I have lived this.
Y esta batalla no es tuya.
But this battle isn't yours.
Es mía.
This is my battle.
Así que tú sigue peleando.
So you continue on fighting.
Tú sigue caminando.
You continue on walking.
No te detengas.
Don't stop.
Y es duro porque a veces enfrentamos situaciones y nos detenemos.
And it's hard because we face certain situations and so we stop.
El miedo, usted sabe, nos hace estar quietos, parados.
You know, fear freezes us. We stop.
Estaba un hombre, te voy a meter a la cárcel, me decía.
There was a man there who said, I'm going to put you in jail.
Y yo decía dentro de mí, diablo mentiroso.
And I said to myself, lying
Yo
devil.
voy para allá, voy a predicar en la cárcel.
I'm going to go there then and preach in
Ahí
the
se va a
prison.
levantar una iglesia.
And I'm going to raise up a church.
Aunque Dios me mueva,
If God moves
yo
me,
voy a ir.
I will go.
Cuenta. Vamos a seguir porque tenemos poco tiempo.
We're going to continue because we're short on
Yo no
time.
sé lo que tú has enfrentado.
I don't know what you faced.
Puede ser rechazo,
It may have been rejection.
puede ser falta de fe,
Could have been lack of faith.
puede ser falta de paz,
Might have been lack of peace.
falta de amor.
Lack of love.
Y puede que todo eso haya dejado de fluir en nosotros.
And it's possible that all these things may have just stopped flowing from
Puede
us.
que todo eso haya dejado de pasar dentro de nosotros.
These things may have stopped being in us.
Dice aquí que en el verso 11, y a Sara le había cesado ya la costumbre de las mujeres.
It says here in verse 11 that Sarah was past the age of childbearing,
Que eso había dejado de pasar.
meaning that it was no longer there.
Y puede que nosotros como cristianos haya dejado de pasar cosas en nosotros.
And it's possible that for us Christians, there are things in our lives that may have ceased to
Como el
exist.
fluir de Dios en nuestras vidas.
Like God's flow in our lives.
Como el gozo que proviene de Dios.
Like the joy that comes from the
Puede
Lord.
que estemos viviendo un matrimonio por apariencia.
It's possible that we're just married for an appearance,
Pero que haya dejado de fluir el amor.
but love has ceased to exist.
O a nuestros
Or
hijos.
perhaps with our children,
Que haya dejado fluir eso que proviene de Dios.
that which comes from God has ceased to exist in our lives.
Recordemos que dice la Biblia que todo lo bueno
Let's remember that the Bible says that all good things
proviene de Dios.
come from God.
Y puede que todo eso haya dejado de fluir.
And it's possible that all these things have stopped flowing.
La reacción de Sara, todo eso había dejado de pasar en ella, no podía tener hijos.
These are all things that happened in Sarah's life. She could no longer have kids.
Su reacción fue algo, pues se rió porque
She reacted by laughing because
lo que estaba viniendo de parte de Dios
what was coming from God
era imposible para ella.
was impossible to her.
Pero me llama la atención más adelante,
But something happens later that draws my attention.
en el capítulo 21,
In verse 21,
ahí mismo de Génesis,
the same passage in Genesis,
dice el capítulo 21, verso 1, dice, y visitó Jehová a Sara, como lo había dicho, e hizo Jehová con Sara, como había hablado.
in Genesis 21, verse 1, now the Lord was gracious to Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised.
Dios hará contigo como prometió.
God will do what he promised.
Aquí dice la Biblia que Dios fue nuevamente, ya no fue con Abraham y Sara, fue directamente con Sara.
And here the Bible says that he no longer went to Abraham, he went directly to Sarah.
Fue y la visitó
He visited her
y le dijo,
and he said,
como te había dicho,
as I had said to
así
you,
va a ser.
this is how it will
Y
be.
si Dios lo ha dicho,
And if God has said it,
así va a ser.
it will be so.
Porque Dios no
Because
miente.
God doesn't lie.
Si Dios ha dicho, serás salva tú y toda tu casa,
If God said you and your household will be
aunque
saved,
parezca que todo está perdido en casa,
even though everything may seem as though it's lost in your house,
Señor, yo me agarro de tu
the
promesa.
Lord, I grab onto that promise.
Dice tu palabra que seré salvo yo y toda mi casa.
Your word says me and my household will be saved.
Porque así dice su palabra.
Because that's what his word says.
A veces es duro, ¿verdad? Porque es algo increíble.
Sometimes it's difficult because it's an incredible thing.
Entonces, ese es el tiempo donde Dios está tocando la puerta de nuestra vida.
So these are the moments where God's knocking on the door of our lives.
Donde está diciendo lo que habías perdido,
Where he says, what you've lost,
te lo voy a regresar.
I will return to you.
Donde parecía que no había respuesta,
Where it felt like there was no
aún hay
response,
esperanza.
there is still hope.
Porque en Cristo hay esperanza.
Because there is hope in Christ.
Así que Él está tocando a la puerta.
So he is knocking at the door.
Dice el verso 5 y 6.
Verse 5 and 6 says,
Dice, y era Abraham de 100 años cuando nació Isaac su hijo. Entonces dijo Sara, Dios me ha hecho reír, y cualquiera que lo oiga se reirá conmigo.
it says Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. And then Sarah said, God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me.
Se volvió a reír Sara.
Sarah laughed once again.
Pero la primera vez era de nervios,
But the first time he was out of nerves.
era de
He
temor.
was out of fear.
Pero la segunda risa era de gozo,
But the second laughter was out
de
of joy.
alegría,
Out of joy.
mirando la provisión de Dios.
Seeing God's provision.
Así que un día nos vamos a reír,
So one day we will laugh.
diciéndole a Dios gracias,
Saying thank you.
porque tú has proveído,
Because you have provided.
porque tú has cumplido.
Because you have fulfilled.
Nos vamos a gozar,
We will rejoice.
pero a veces ocupamos un empujoncito.
But sometimes we need a little push.
A veces ocupamos ese empujoncito para que nos podamos meter.
We need that push to go in.
Yo no sé si usted ha escuchado la canción esa que no quiero los tobillos.
I don't know if you've heard that song that says, not at my ankles.
Tampoco quiero las rodillas.
I also don't want it to be at my knees.
No quiero los hombros.
I don't want it to be at my
Yo
shoulders.
quiero nadar.
I want to swim.
Yo quiero todo de Jesús.
I want everything from Jesus.
Yo quiero todo de mi
I
Creador.
want everything from my
Yo no
Creator.
quiero una parte nada
I don't
más.
just want a portion.
Yo no quiero solamente los domingos.
I don't want just on
Yo quiero
Sundays.
todos los
I
días.
want to every day
El resto de mi vida.
for the rest of my life.
Es algo glorioso.
It's a glorious
Cuando
thing.
tú te agarras de Dios,
When
del Dios de imposibles,
When you grab hold of the God of
y
impossibilities
le dices, Señor,
and you say, Lord,
yo quiero todo de ti.
I want everything from you.
No quiero nada más una parte.
I don't just want a
Sé
portion.
que va a haber, el todo significa tiempos difíciles.
I know that at all times, this also means the difficult times.
Sé que el todo significa aflicción.
I know that everything also means the times of affliction.
Sé que significan desiertos.
I know that it also means the deserts.
Pero sé que mi final
But I know that at my end
va a ser de
will
gozo,
be a
de
rejoicing one.
risa, de alegría,
Will
de
be of
paz.
laughter, of rejoice, and of peace.
Gracias, Señor Jesús.
Thank you, Jesus.
Para terminar,
And to close,
dice una historia
there's a story
de un hombre
of a man
que quería dar en casamiento a su hija.
who wanted to give his daughter's hand in marriage.
Y él no quería que se casara su hija con cualquier hombre.
And he didn't want his daughter to marry just any man.
Quería que fuera con alguien muy valiente,
He wanted it to be with a brave man,
con un hombre que sobresaliera de todos.
with a man who was above every other man.
Pues este hombre no era cualquier hombre.
Well, this man wasn't just any other man.
El papá de esta jovencita era un hombre adinerado, era un hombre importante.
The father of this young lady was a very important man, a wealthy man.
Así que mandó juntar a todos los solteros de su comunidad,
So-
de los pueblos.
So he asked that all the single men would be gathered,
Y se juntaron todos.
and they all gathered.
Y los juntó arriba de un puente.
And he put them all lined up on a bridge.
Y abajo había un lago muy grande.
And below there was a great big lake.
Y empezó a platicar con ellos.
And he began to speak to them.
Y les dijo, miren,
And he said, look,
yo quiero que mi hija se case.
I want my daughter to be married.
Y quiero que sea no con cualquier hombre.
But I don't want her to just marry any guy.
Quiero que sea con uno valiente.
I want it to be with a brave man.
Con alguien que la quiera.
With somebody who loves her.
Con alguien que la proteja.
Somebody who protects her.
Y le dijo, y no solamente se va a llevar a mi hija.
And he said, he's not just going to marry my daughter.
Le voy a dar vacas.
I'm going to give him cattle.
Le voy a dar
I'm
propiedades.
going to give him properties.
Necesito que el que vaya a querer se tiene que... Y cuando estaba platicando,
And he says, while he's speaking,
de repente un hombre cae al agua.
out of nowhere, this man falls into the water.
Y les dijo, hey, no me dejaron terminar.
And he says, hey, you didn't let me finish.
Tenían que caer al agua
You had to fall to the lake,
y salir al otro lado.
but go to the other side.
Y todos ahí asombrados, pues ya se aventó uno.
And then all these men are astonished. Well, there's already been one who jumped,
Pero hay tiburones en el
but
agua.
there's sharks in the water.
Hay pirañas.
There's piranhas.
Hay animales muy
There's
peligrosos.
very dangerous animals there.
Y el hombre ahí va como puede salvando su vida hasta
And-
que llega al otro
And
lado.
this man is swimming however he can, trying to get to the other side.
Y empieza a hacer fiesta el papá.
And then the dad then starts the party.
Y llega ahí el hombre ahí al puente nuevamente, todo mojado, todo lastimado.
And so then this man finally comes up for air. He goes to the
Y le dice, felicidades.
and the dad says,
Tú vas a
congratulations,
ser el hombre de mi hija.
you're gonna be my daughter's husband.
Le dice, no, no me importa eso.
And he said, no, I don't care about that.
Nomás quiero saber quién la aventó al
I
agua.
just want to know who's going to be the water.
A veces ocupamos un empujoncito.
Sometimes we need a push.
A veces ocupamos eso.
Sometimes we just need that
Porque
push.
estamos nomás ahí de espectadores.
Because we're just there spectating.
No es lo mismo estar en la guerra
It's not the same thing to be in the war
que escuchar rumores de guerra.
as it is to hear rumors of war.
Así que hay que meternos a la batalla.
So we got to get into the battle.
Dios les bendiga.
Lord bless you.
Póngase de pie.
Stand your feet.
Para
rápidamente queremos orar por las mamás.
Just really quickly, we want to pray for all the moms.
Así que ni siquiera les voy a pedir que pasen aquí.
I'm not even going to ask you to come forward.
Nomás voy a pedir, mamá, levanten su mano.
I'm just going to ask, moms, raise your hand.
Toda mamá levante su mano, por favor.
Every mom, if you would raise your hand.
Todos los que están ahí alrededor, si están ahí y ven a una mamá que está solita, por favor, pongan sus manos ahí, abrácenla.
If you see any mom standing next to you who's there by herself, I'm going to ask you to hug
Por
her.
favor,
Please.
no quiero ver una sola mamá sin que alguien la esté tocando o la esté abrazando.
I don't want to see a single mother standing there on her
Toda
own.
mamá deben de estarla tocando. Acá hay unas mamás que están solas, por favor. Jóvenes, por favor, pongan manos acá sobre las mamás.
Every mom, I want a hand laid on every mom.
A mis piedras preciosas, mijas, vayan, go ahead and start, look for a mom, and then go ahead and put your hands on. Busquen a sus mamis, pongan manos sobre ellas.
Go look for your moms. Put hands on them.
Okay. Vamos a orar rápidamente.
We're going to pray.
Padre, muchísimas gracias, Dios, por tu palabra.
Father, thank you so much for your word.
Gracias porque es el alimento que necesitamos.
Thank you because it's the food that we need, the meal that we need.
Gracias porque es tu palabra la que nos mantiene con vida.
Thank you because it's your word that keeps us alive.
Y por eso te damos muchísimas gracias.
And for this we thank you.
Padre, pero en esta tarde
But in this afternoon,
te queremos dar muchísimas gracias
we want to also thank you
por todas nuestras madres.
for every mother.
Padre, te queremos dar gracias porque tú nos has dado la madre perfecta.
God, we want to thank you because you've given us the perfect mother.
Y por eso te pedimos,
And for this we ask you,
Padre, abraza a nuestras madres.
Father, embrace our mothers.
Muéstrales cuánto les amas.
Show them how much you love them.
Padre, y en este momento derrama tu gozo sobre sus vidas.
And in this moment, I ask that you give them your joy,
Señor, que ellas sepan
that they would know
que son escogidas de ti.
that they are chosen by you.
Señor, que tú las has escogido a ser madres y a ser mujeres santas delante de ti.
You have chosen them to be holy women before you.
Por eso te pedimos que en esta tarde
And so we ask that you would, in this afternoon,
tú las bendigas
that
grandemente.
you would bless them greatly,
Señor, que concedas el deseo de su corazón.
that you would give them the desires of their hearts,
Que seas con ella en todo momento.
that you would be with them at all times,
Que bendigas su levantar y su acostar.
that you would bless their rise and their sleep,
Que bendiga sus pies a donde quiera que ellas vayan.
that you would bless their feet wherever they go,
Bendice sus manos y bendice sus labios.
bless their hands and their lips.
Padre, en tus manos las ponemos.
Lord, we place them in your hands,
Padre, te damos muchísimas gracias por ellas.
and we thank you for them.
Te damos toda la honra y la gloria en el nombre de Cristo
We give
Jesús.
you all the honor and glory in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amén. Amén. Ok. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you.
Que Dios les bendiga. Estamos despedidos.